All right, so we're going to get started right at 12 today because I want to make this kind of a quick one. It's going to be interactive in the sense that if you're able, you're going to need a pen and paper. If you aren't able, it'll be a short one. You can go back and watch the recording. Excuse me, but we have a couple of other Zoom. Mondays has just turned into be like this thing now, right? But the Lunch and Grow one is going to be really good. That has Chelsea Cooper on there today. And then now that corporate is sticking with their Monday thing, we have that also. So anyway, what I want to talk about today is called The Performance Gap. There is actually a book. It's not the book. I know I've been reading all these books to you guys lately. Oh, I just have it. It's called Raise Your Game by Alan Stein Jr. Raise Your Game, Alan. Oh, there it goes. Alan Stein Jr. Okay, so this book he talks about high performance secrets from the best of the best, but the one that he shared that he goes back to often, and that I feel like I will also go back to often because it's something that will be constantly changing, is your performance gap. So, first and foremost, just so you know, it's not about perfection. Okay, this is about progress, small steps to be progressively better and better every day. And it's not about being the best of the best. It's about being the best you. So when I walk you through this, I don't want you to like I feel like I need to give examples, but I don't want you to use my examples because the best me is not the best you, like at all. Like we might have some commonalities here or there, but what I say is not the best. And that's the thing that he kind of preaches about too, is that we are inundated. I don't know, with so much information on social media about, how to be the best you and what should be the best you. And, the smartest people do this and the most successful people do this. And so you start questioning yourself. What you need to do is be the best you, because when you're the best you and you're the happiest version of you, you're going to be the best at everything in your life. Right. So what you're going to do is take a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle of it, just so that way you have two sections of this paper. On the left-hand side, I want you to start doing a brain dump of things that light you up, things that fill your bucket. So it could be anything from like physical things, emotional things, spiritual things, mental health things. So some examples that, and again, I'm only giving you examples as an example, okay? It's not the answer by any means. Some things that I wrote down very quickly. Wake up early. I love when I wake up early. I don't do it all the time, right? I'm a human. I have days where I don't do it. But when I do, I love it. I love that feeling of being up early and tackling my day. Gardening. Hello. I love to have my hands in the dirt, whether it's like actually outside doing it or maybe starting, working with a house plant, like that fills me up. I love to read a little bit before bed. I don't do it every night, but I love to do it. You guys know I love my morning walk. I do that for my physical and my mental health, right? So these are just some examples. So I want you to think about what lights you up. Who do you like to spend time with? What activity do you do that when it's on your calendar for the day, like you can't help but smile? That you're like, okay, I'm going to get to do this today. Or maybe it's a person you're going to get to see that you just can't help but smile, right? A place, maybe it's a place you're going to get to go and you just can't help but smile. Like, what are those people, places, and things that you do that you love? And I'm not saying you do them all the time, but when you do them, they're like top notch for you. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to start writing. Also, if you have questions or you want to add an example, you can unmute or you can type it in the chat just to kind of help people. Oh, y'all. All right, are we writing away? I see heads down. I like that. And this is a list that you can keep adding to. Like, something's gonna like I did it yesterday, and then today I thought of other things to add. And some of you are gonna have a list of like 80 things, and some of you are gonna have a list of 15. Now, for the next 2 minutes, I'm gonna put a twist to this. What are things related to your business that when you do them or participate in them, you can't help but smile? Like what comes to my mind? A group chat with a newbie. I love that. A local. I love a local. Like I love getting to hear the stories, share the stories. A team Zoom. I love a team Zoom. I love getting to share and listening to other people share. So for the next 2 minutes, write down the things in your business that like getting a new promoter, like getting a promoter that wants to work. Like, does that not light your fire? I mean, it lights my fire. It gets me so excited. Um, and and again, maybe you don't. Maybe a new promoter stresses you out. That's okay. Don't write that down. Right? Like bonuses and promos, those stress me out. I work them, but they stress me out. Is it? Yeah, this is still on the left side, but this time instead of just thinking about your whole life in general, I want you to think specifically about your business. Like for 2 minutes, I want you to brain dump what are things specific to your business that make you smile, that fill your cup, that like I'm thinking of Samantha, like she loves and she's so good at it. She loves to do like the Canva graphics for different things. That fills her cup, right? It's not necessarily where I'm not trying to focus on only income producing activities, but what is something with your business that fills your cup? One more minute, and we're going to move on to the right side. Okay, so you can keep jotting down, but for sake of time, I want to move along here. On the right side of your page, now like switch, turn all that off. Everything that we just did, turn all that off. On the right side of your page, I want you to think about from the time you wake up for the first hour of your day. I want you to jot down your typical morning routine, like typical. Again, you're not going to do it all the time. It's not going to be perfect, but what do you typically do for the first 60 minutes of your day? I got to get the dog. Oh my gosh, these dogs. So your typical first 60 minutes of the day, everything from the alarm goes off, I hit the snooze button, or the alarm goes off, I make my bed. Obviously, you're taking your Thrive. We already know that. I hop in a shower. Maybe you exercise. Maybe you read your Bible. Maybe you make breakfast for children. Whatever your typical first hour of your day is, not your ideal, because we all know that's hard to live your ideal morning, but your typical morning. Also on that same side of the piece of paper, when you're ready, I want you to think of the last hour of your day. So if you're going to bed at 10 p.m., what are you doing from 9 to 10? I'm going to sneeze. I think. Maybe not. So your typical evening routine. Are you one to clean the kitchen and take a bath? Or are you one to maybe have a show that you love to watch before bed? Maybe you just go till the second it's time to pop off your shoes and you fall into bed. Like, what is your typical last hour? Sandra, I just saw your face. What was that? Were you thinking hard? Zoom is just going to keep you muted forever. What the heck? Okay, well, I don't know. It's okay. Apparently, you're not supposed to speak on the Zoom. I even tried to hit your unmute button and it won't let me do it.
My screen totally disappeared. Yeah, it totally went off the screen. I couldn't find it. Well, a lot of times it's just waiting for Charlie to fall asleep so I can go get some shit done.
Okay, write that down.
I did.
Right. Okay, so again, this is something you can work on after the fact. Maybe you don't have all your answers down. Maybe you really need to think it through. Maybe you're driving or you're at work. I get it. But the whole purpose of this left and right sheet of paper, now you're going to compare those two sides. And you're going to do a honest, because you're the only one that can see this piece of paper. You're going to do an honest self-audit of what lights your fire and how you're starting and ending your day. So, for example, I said I love to read before bed, but you guys, the last 4 or 5 nights, I've scrolled my phone. Why? I don't know. Bad choice, poor decision, not being my best self. Because I know in reality, if I put the phone down and pick up a book, I feel so much better about myself. I love reading before bed, but for some reason I've been scrolling this little black box. My morning walk, the last 2 mornings, I didn't get it. I wasn't feeling like literally something that little, I just wasn't, I've not felt well, obviously. But because of that, I skipped that little, like even today, I didn't feel 100%, but I was like, I have got to go. I just went for a quick walk. I just needed that. I know I feel better when I do it. Waking up early. I did not wake up early today. Again, I'm not feeling well, but there are times where you go to bed and you're like, I'm getting up early tomorrow and I'm getting XYZ done and it's going to be great. And then when the morning comes, maybe you're tired, maybe you didn't sleep as great as you'd hoped, and then during the day, that kind of wears on you, right? So compare your lists. What do you love versus what are you actually doing? Do you love reading your Bible first thing in the morning, but instead first thing in the morning, you're checking your messenger? Do you love taking a hot bubble bath before bed, but instead you're hooked on some Netflix show that's not really what you love? So again, the thought here is it's not to say that you're bad, right? It's not bad. I'm not a bad person because I've not read my book and I've scrolled the phone instead. What I know for me is by not doing what I love, I don't feel as good about myself. Like none of you know, like none of you, if I could have easily come on here and said, I read my book every night for the last 365 days. No one's going to know. It's not about what other people think of me. It's about what I think of myself. It's that gap between where I am and where I want to be. And so this brings up that thing that I talked about in the beginning. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. So tonight when I get in bed, because I've done my audit today, if I feel myself picking up the phone, I can actually say, hey, hang on a sec, Tam, let's think about this. let's get the book out. You know, you're going to feel better reading. You're going to sleep better reading. No blue light and all that jazz, right? So it's just, it's where are you and where do you want to be? So more specifically, go look at the list that you made of what lights your fire with your business. Are you doing those things? If not, find time to do those things. Maybe you love the feeling of connecting with old chats and firing up old chats, but you haven't done it. You can add that to your nighttime routine or your morning routine, whatever, like whatever it is, or just even your workday routine. Because I think a lot of times, especially with this particular job that we're in, we get focused on, like, I love the feeling of posting a completed 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but I don't always love the feeling that I have when I'm doing it. So sometimes that can be like, I don't want to do whatever. I don't want to do a friend request. I don't want to do a Facebook post today. But if I can start remembering the parts of the job that I love, like I love reaching down into the downline and being like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? Can I help you with anything? Can we talk to anybody? I love that part. And guess what happens when I start doing what I love? Before you know it, I have done how many follow-ups with people on my team, and my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is getting done because I'm focusing on the things that bring the best out in me. So this is just a personal exercise for you. And it's something that I would encourage you to do on the regular, especially in those moments where you get in a rut and you start to feel stuck. That is a time where if you do that audit, 99% guarantee you what you love and what you're doing are not going to have lined up. Lisa says, learn to love the process, not the outcome. Exactly. And bonus season. How many, that's all bonus season. Oh my God, bonus season. I'm not a fan of bonus season. I think it puts a lot of pressure on everyone. I think people start commission breath. But I love celebrating when people do hit the bonus. So I want to support people through the bonus. So again, that's when I have to look at like what lights me up supporting people, right? So if I'm not loving the commission breath, how can I support someone? What is something I could be doing that I'm not doing to support someone through the bonus season, right? So again, look at what you love, but look at how you're actually spending your time. Look at what lights you guys, when you became a promoter, what is it? Ignorance on fire, right? We were all just so damn excited because we felt so good. We couldn't imagine not everyone feeling so good, but then we've gotten into our heads and we start to analyze our posts. We start to analyze our conversations. We start to think about what people are thinking versus that first 7 to 10 days where you're like, I don't care. Everybody needs it. That felt good. You were sharing something you loved. How often are you sharing what you love? Right? It's basically about alignment, like getting back in line. And the smaller you can make the gap between what you love to do and what you're actually doing, you will be your best self. You will feel like your best self. It's everything from like, I know for a fact when I eat a great breakfast, like a good high protein breakfast, I know I feel better for the rest of the day. But some mornings, I just want a piece of toast. And I know I'm going to feel like crap for the rest of the day, right? So it's just a matter of closing that gap. It's doing the things that you maybe don't love in the moment, but overall you love in the end, that gets you closer to where you want to be. So this is just an exercise I wanted to share with you guys. I hope it was helpful. Hopefully, just in the 20 minutes that we've been here, you've thought of some things already that you love, but you've not been doing. And it's okay. Give yourself grace. Move on to the next day. The beauty about life is we're always moving forward. There's no reason to move backward. I'm not going to beat myself up about not reading a book for the last 5 days, because no matter how hard I beat myself, those 5 days aren't coming back, right? All we can do is move forward. So I'm looking at my list and I'm reevaluating how I'm spending my time. And I'm going back to the whole thing where I look at Tom at 8:30 and say, I'm going into the bedroom because I need to read, instead of sitting in the chair scrolling like a freaking zombie before bed, right? Same with my business. I love a local, which we are having one Thursday. Do not forget, if you are around here in Lebanon, we have a local Thursday night at the Y. Ronnie raised her hand. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Ronnie. You can unmute.
So I had to chuckle because if you all were in Toledo with me, you'll understand this. On the business part on the left side, I put trip, just not a 24-hour bus trip.
Yeah, for sure. It was worth it, but just not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's a great way of looking at it too, because I wasn't even thinking that big. Yeah. What do you love about what are the opportunities with this business that you love? Like I I I forget, or I take for granted. I guess that's the best way to say it. I take for granted that my car is paid for. I love that. Like, I love that. I need to remind myself daily to be grateful for the fact that that car in my driveway is paid for by my company. I love traveling, whether it's a getaway that they paid for or it's Thrive-Palooza that's coming up. I love that stuff. And so again, if I connect to the things I love, it makes doing the daily humdrum stuff easier to do. Why am I doing my 5 reach outs today? Because by golly, I'm going to Denver, right? Why am I doing my follow-ups today? Because I'm driving a free car. Like it just helps you come back to gratitude and connect yourself and align yourself with where you are. Because for me, and I don't know, maybe for you, for me, I start to get into my head and I start to think, okay, yeah, it's great you got the free car. It's great you've been on the trip. What are you doing now, Tammy? You got to get qualified for this thing. And you got to get qualified for that. Da, 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 da. And I start berating myself versus staying in gratitude, staying in alignment with what makes me happy, and staying connected to that. Because again, your first 10 days when you were the happiest thriver you ever were, all kinds of great things were happening, right? All kinds of great conversations were happening. Chats were happening. Bonuses were being hit. Hell, I didn't even understand VIP when I was hitting it. I didn't understand how to put it all together, but I was having fun. And so you got to get back to what you love so that you can get back to those bonuses, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I hope it helped. Think about it. I would encourage you to do it once a month. I'm going to try to do mine once a month. And obviously today we did like health and wellness and mental, and we did work. Just every blue moon, if you're feeling in a rut in your personal life, or you're feeling in a rut with your business, or whatever it is that you're feeling in a rut with, stop and do that evaluation on just that one topic, and see how quickly you come back into alignment and you remember why you are where you are and what you're doing. Ronnie says, let rejection be fuel to your fire. Amen, sister. Amen. Okay, so I'm going to call it early. I will record this, or I am recording this. It'll be on the YouTube, but at 12:30, which is in 6 minutes, we have the Lunch and Grow. And then at 1, and I'm speaking Eastern, and at 1, we have the corporate Zoom call. Shit, I don't know. We have so many things. Anyway, have a great Monday. Bye.